Presenting Kitty the cat. Oh, never mind. Oh, my bra. Okay. Hello, it's Queen Sensitivity, and I'm about to do this reading. It's late where I am, and people are asleep, so I will try my best not to be as loud as I usually am. So turn your headphones up and get comfortable. I think I might scoot a little closer. I don't want my forehead to be at the forefront of the video, but it might be, so that I can make sure I'm being heard. This usually happens, these sorts of things where I feel like I have to talk, happen usually after a good movie, or I'm like around people, which I'm often not. But yeah, I'm like a very good like energy conductor, and like I get like a lot of hits from like, I don't know, other people. And so I just finished watching the American Society of Magical Negroes, pretty sure that's the name of it, and it was amazing. There was this speech during like the middle part of it, no, the ending, like climactic. It was like the Barbie speech, but like for Black people. And it just made me feel so happy. And like the whole time, it's crazy because I've seen this actor many times. I'm already a fan of his, but for some reason, during like the movie, I was just like, he's so attractive. He's so attractive. I just kept thinking that over and over. I'm like, he's so attractive. And it was like this feeling reminding me of my twin flame. It's like, I don't know, it was weird. It would be like glitches where I could like see, I don't know, swapping of places. And I just felt like there are several messages that need to come out, but I do feel like there is a focus that needs to be on twin flames, divine counterparts, soulmates, whatever you call it. I feel like it's important. I feel like it's also important that I'm wearing this shirt. Like I forgot I had this shirt, and then I like was moving some stuff around, and I was like, oh, I could wear this. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of like little bitty synchronicities, but this is gonna be a general reading, and it's gonna be about like, what do you need to know about this connection? However, don't be surprised if like other seemingly non-romantic messages come out, but they'll still have to be about, everything is connected. And I feel like to limit the partnership, the connection, the dynamic that is, you know, divine counterparts into the slim category of what is considered to be romanticism, I feel is extremely inadequate. I know the door is not open. I understand. But you see, I'm doing a video. Okay. Yes, I know. The door needs to be closed so I don't disturb the guest. So you will have to be patient. Okay. So I'm going to start with this Muse tarot deck that I know you can't see. I was trying to adjust the camera, but I failed. So here we are. And I felt like it was important to like show my face in this. Like I felt like it was important for my face to be in here. You know, it's very interesting because like I go through these weird phases where like I feel really dense and I feel really heavy. It's almost like a depression contagion as the dense energies of this collective clear, and I am for sure one of the lead transmuters. And then like it'll clear. Ooh, this is something. The devil card was on the bottom of the deck to begin with, but now it's in reverse. Yeah, it'll clear, like this devil energy will clear, and then I'll feel so confident. I feel like it's not even confidence. It's like this childlike gaze where I want to be really silly, and I don't really have too many concerns about how people would um, would view me. And I feel like whenever I'm in this space, I'm like being like super like true divine feminine, like very like you know, like creative and like artsy fartsy. And when I'm in this energy, that's when I can feel like my mate like pulling, like it's like the pull is back, if that makes sense. You know, when I'm talking about mates is what I call, if you read books, you know, Twilight, I think, if you read like about mates, you know, that's what I call like twin flames and stuff. I was like, what's the most romantic book that I have? And we have this baby. This is my favorite book of all time. As you can probably see, it is broken. It is torn and it is very worn. I don't know how many times I've read this. I think just maybe like 4 times, I think, maybe 5. I used to try to read it every year, but then it broke. And so now I try to leave her alone so I don't get her confused. But yeah, we're gonna crack this bad baby open today for like some messages. But yeah, the first message is like this density clearing. And I wanna talk about this a little bit more because I feel like things are not that simple, and also things are extremely simple. This is actually something that I was telling my cousin yesterday, because she was saying about like, we were talking about cycles, and she was talking about a cycle in her life and how, I don't know, people that she, you know, respects views her life as like, I don't know, somewhat disappointing, or at least it's how she perceives it. But I was telling her, on one hand, it's like, yes, you made these choices that, you know, society might not see as favorable or beneficial or, you know, successful. But I'm like, at the same time, it's also soul contracts that you agreed to before you, you know, were reincarnated here. And then it's also like, there's higher reasonings to even your failures, you know, through that same lens of like, it was predestined, as well as you also chose. And I feel like, as well as, so it's like, it's multiple things. It's like, you chose this, it was predestined, and then also there's fuckery, like there's interference that intentionally, you know, was weighing you down. It's like, it's multiple things at once, but like, it's also very simple if you view it from like, I guess the highest perspective of like source of like every single thing. Everything is working in your favor, even the ones that seem completely horrific and you can't possibly conceive how it could be beneficial. Still is. Way up top, which is also way inside. The up top is really within. But yeah, so in terms of like the twin flame connection, the divine counterpart, mated connection, the devil card, I feel like it's like the errant twin brother of the lovers card, because there's usually 2 people, and there's 2 people, and then there's like this mastermind, and it's the same way in the lovers card. There's this card here. Yes, I understand, kitty. The hangman. I feel like this one goes in upright. The point that I am trying to get across is that in these twin flame dynamics, it's like, on the one hand, the things that are keeping them separate are very individual. It's like your insecurities are being projected on your person, and it's propelling them away from you. That's one. So it's you, it's your will. And then two, you planned this before you got here, quote unquote. You planned this before you got here. So it was predestined, you know, in that way. Like a soul contract, you both agreed to these things. But at the same time, it's malleable. But then there's also like another level of like interference. You feel me? It's like the way that I feel now when I'm in this energy, I feel very like I said, artsy fartsy, very like flirty, very lighthearted, very like confident. And when I'm in this energy, that's when it feels like the connection is the strongest and the clearest, and there's no like resentment and hate and like insecurity there. But then it'll go out of this state. It usually doesn't stay, and it'll go back into like this dense energy of like me, but also the collective, and then it feels heavy, and then it's like this repelling force, and it's like you can never fully like come together in union. And so it's like I said, it's both things at the same time. It's like it is your shit that you're clearing, the density, because if it wasn't your shit, then, you know, it wouldn't impact you, I think. But at the same time, it's also like, it's intentionally done to like keep repelling the, you know, the mates from each other, which is another concept that they touched on in the film that I really loved. And I think I've said this before. So let me get some water. You know, there's a saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? Like the people who have the most, I don't know, power, I guess, they have like the hardest burdens. And you see this in the spiritual community all the time. Like the people who have all these insight and have all this connection with source and like these experiences are usually the same people who have gone through hell. We've all gone through hell, but you know what I mean? Like they've had like really rough lives and really like extreme circumstances, a lot of like a lack of support and stuff. He's complaining, oh my gosh. He's like, how dare you not allow me my freedom? Okay, go to the door, I'll let you out. Go. Okay. Anyways, so in that same, I guess, set of circumstances, it's like the people who get attacked the most, it's because they have something. It's because they usually have something that like the opponents like want to make sure that they don't realize that they have, or, you know, if they realize that they have it, use it to destroy the opponents or whatever. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, you know, when people go to war, they always go after like the king, like they want to kill the king. And the reason is because the king has like that power. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, for example, even the presidents, like they want to go for the presidents because of what they represent. And also, you know, they have like the nuclear codes and stuff to be like realistic. And I'm like watching this movie, The American Society of the Magical Negro, and, you know, talking about all the things that Black people have to like bear just being in society. And in my opinion, from my perspective, which is definitely biased, I feel like Black people have like the most hate and the most systems set up to oppress and condition the Black state, the Black consciousness, to be self-hating and self-fulfilling in prophecies of poverty and I guess just overall an impoverished mind, right? And so it always leads me to the same question. If, you know, Black people are the most hated, that means they're the most, you know, attacked by these negative entities and receiving the most interference. What is it that Black people have access to that they are unaware of, that is so powerful to, I guess, justify all this heaviness? And, you know, to speak on that, you know, in the same line of thought, it's the same way with twins, divine counterparts, where I've heard like there's often this like interracial relationships, like it can be a pattern where twin flames are of different racial and ethnic backgrounds, and often I think religion backgrounds as well, going with that same pattern. But you know, I don't know. I don't know if there's research on that. It's just what people say. But my point is, like, the reason that I know there's so much interference is because they're the key to something, is what I'm trying to say. I hope I'm getting this across in a way that's making sense, and I feel like that's why represented by this devil in reverse, that clearing, and also this hanged man, where it's like it's been stuck for a long time, and this is something, I don't know, that I've observed, and I hope I say this in a way that makes sense, but it's something that I've observed. It's like people who are in these like unified relationships, romantic relationships, where like they are in like true like real union, and they don't have like all this shit like getting in the way, I'm like, that's usually an indication that they're not divine counterparts. And the people who are divine counterparts, who are, you know, physically together, you know, in these connections, there's still like this stalemate, there's still like this fourth wall that hasn't been broken. You know, in my opinion, I just feel like, I don't know, from what I've seen, like there isn't like true union between mates, because if there were, then it would be union with all mates. Do you see what I mean? Because it's so powerful. Like that true sustained union is so powerful that it would change everything. It would change everything. And so that's why it's the most heavily attacked, you know, relationship, I feel. And I feel like it comes at you from all angles to prevent it. You know what I mean? This is just something I've seen, like even with people online that I feel for sure that I've seen are like twin flames, and they live together. This one wonderful woman, what's her name? It's called Guided by Angels. I think they still live together. I don't know, but I can pick up, and she is very vocal about their relationship and very vulnerable. I can still feel there's like this wall. I don't know, there's still this blockage, and there is still specifically this like avoidance from the divine masculine and that connection. But obviously, like in other ones that I've observed, there's this avoidance of like confronting and facing fully head on the divine feminine. And I feel like from what I'm picking up now is that this aversion from facing divine feminine head on is because the divine masculine, specifically those in cisgendered, you know, male male identities, or like male bodies. I do use quote unquote, but you know what I mean. Like specifically those, like specifically men, people who identify as men, as well as divine masculines in these mated connections. They've been trained like heavily, frequently, over and over, and given like proof that their false ego is everything. And to look at the divine feminine full on, head on, would be to kill. It would be to destroy that false ego. And I feel like they've been taught and they've learned very well to attach and to believe that that false ego is everything, is their lifeline. But in fact, it's a false thread of life. It's like they've been taught that if that thread gets cut, then like you're done, you die. But it's like that thread is a false thread. It's not actually real, which is interesting because that's something that came up in a book that I don't own. I don't have that book, but it's called Crave by Tracy Wolf. Spoilers, because this don't come out until like later on in the series. I'm feeling called to shuffle this deck. This don't come out until later in the series. But basically it's like, oop, this one. What is this? Athena. So maybe there's one with that. It comes out later in the series that the person that she initially like mated with, and that was her twin flame, like the main character in the book, it was a false thread that connected them. It was a false twin. And it was a false thread, excuse me, that was put there on purpose. To like benefit the divine, the false masculine, false divine masculine twin. What does she want me to know from this one? I'm getting like a headache now. We have Oshun. We have Oba. We have Light. We have Enan. I think the reason I'm getting a headache is because I haven't eaten yet. Shame on me. But I really felt called to do this reading. I think now I'm gonna get, I know you can't see, but it's okay. I'm gonna get these energy oracle cards as well. We have desire, domesticity, light, and wisdom. What do we need to know, Spirit, today about this connection? What are you trying to say? I'm seeing the show Author, that like kid show Author, the cartoon. We have Angel of Strength. Shit. We have Woman Holding Heart. We have Angel of Love. We have the World. We have Cornucopia, but they're saying to put that back. Oh, that's why. Bottom of the deck. This one is sticking up. Oh, well, we're gonna take that. Cornucopia, and bottom of the deck is Man Holding the Heart. And if you recall, we have Woman Holding the Heart. So this one is coming up too. Happy Family. Oh, you can see. I'm not making it up. Garden at the Gate, and then one more sticking up. One more. This one. Shit, Jesus. Okay, Rest and Rejuvenation. That was a lot of cards. Sorry. We'll get to these. I think I'll put these in like a little corner over here. Oshun. Yeah, the Happy Family card. I just subconsciously set it right on top of this card, which is forgiveness. It's like the Happy Family lies like right there at forgiveness. I don't know, I just feel like this is like a big deal. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Yeah, underneath it is courage. And underneath that is fertility, yeah. Yep, all the things. I'm like rolling, whoa. Every time I ask for like a reading to have like high frequency energy, I'm like, but I hope you can feel it through like the video. Maybe it'll make you sleepy. But yeah, I asked for spirit. I was like, I want the highest messages. And every time I ask for that specifically, it's like, I'm like, what? But okay. So I listen to Ramona Lappin a lot, as I say often. She's on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook and Ko-fi. Anywho, she was saying about forgiveness. And she was saying like, this is like, can, you know, come up in all relationships, but let's hound in on the divine counterparts, right? The divine masculine, which is within us, you know, if, you know, the mind versus the heart, divine masculine, divine feminine. The divine masculine would apologize, you know, to the divine feminine. Then it's like it would instantly be forgiven. I love how this card forgiveness is like this woman looks very like fertile and like abundant, like I'll open up everything for you if like you just are willing to apologize. And I really liked how Ramona was putting it. She was saying how you don't need other people to apologize. You know, we've heard this before, to forgive them. You don't need other people to transmute that and heal that on your own. But at the same time, she was like talking to herself like, is it truly like gonna be healed though if that other person never genuinely understands what they have done wrong and genuinely apologizes for that? And I feel like no. I feel like there will always be, if you never, you know, get that, I feel like there's always gonna be, I don't know, like a little thread of something, even if it's not against the other person, but I feel like you'll hold it with other people if you never get that like understanding and that true apology from them. But maybe I'm wrong, you know, maybe I'm young. But I feel like that's the message I'm getting for this conversation's messages, or what the counterparts need to know. I don't really know at this point because it's very like strong energies coming in, but it gets you straight to the happy family. And so it's like, that's why like it's so much interference and like so much like illusions and like trying constantly convincing the divine masculine, which again, which is within all, you know, usually represented by the mind, the logic, the action, that toxic workaholic within us of like distracting that, you know, with the false ego and like constantly convincing them to like pay attention to other things, the false string, instead of returning home. Like it makes it look like it's so hard, or it'd be so dire to avert your attention away from certain things. But it's like if you actually risked it and did it, it would lead you straight to like to paradise. So I don't know, I feel like it's also like bringing up this movie called Onward with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland. It's an animated movie. I love this movie. It's like they go on this long treasure hunt to find this item that'll bring their dad back to life. And at the end of it, they end up literally right where they first started looking, like right at the beginning. They end up right there, like all the tunnels just lead back to this well. And it's like, if they would have just sat down and like had this conversation about like, I don't know, the love between the brothers, they would have found it immediately. But it's like, because of how, you know, the world is, they show you maps and they show you you have to drive to this location and they show you this list of ingredients Like, it convinces you that you have to do all this roundabout stuff and tick off all these things before you can have what you're looking for. But in truth, what you're looking for has been looking for you. Like, you already have it. It's been trying to find you. And I feel like that is also that divine, like, innate magnetism, which is something that I've talked about before, where it's like, when you think about like soul family, you think about even divine counterpart, it's like your tribe, your soul people. In that term right there is family. Family is something that you're born into. A divine counterpart is a partner. That these terms inherently apply, inherently say imply, that's the word. They inherently imply that they're already close to you, that you're already with them. And yet in this world, it's not the case. You're with people who are not your tribe or your soul family. It's like this, it's inverted. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, the people who are supposed to be on the inside in your immediate reality are external, they're far. And then like the people who you don't know and you don't resonate with are close. And then like I said at the beginning, in that it's intentional and it's for your benefit, always. But at the same time, it was also intentional to be antagonistic to your story. And it's like both, you can change it as well as like you agreed to certain things. I don't know, probably being confusing. Let's move on. So, first card that came out was the Angel of Love. And it's on top of this Desire card. This is annoying because I feel like it's Angel of Love. I said Angel of Love. This is Strength card. This is Angel of Love. Yeah, it's annoying because I feel like the strength of like the passion between the divine counterparts, like that attraction, physical attraction, that everything attraction, it's on purpose. You know, it's there for a reason. It's that divine creator, like creative womb, spark energy. But I don't know. It's annoying because it's like rarely ever happens. Domesticity, Angel of Love. Domesticity, I don't know, you know, home life, Angel of Love. Just let me go through it and I feel like the answers or the message will come. We have Light. I have the World card. The World card looks like yin and yang, 33:22 on the clock. And then the Light, I feel like represents like the yin, but like where's the yang, you know? If it's Eos is represented by Light, like where is the other card for the yang? It's like the divine feminine, and there's nobody. It's like she's racing towards somebody and there's like nobody there to give it to. I feel like give it to yourself. I feel like the message that I'm getting with this woman holding a heart card, it's like, I don't know, this is already done. I feel like I want to say that. This is already done. It's like the divine masculine has already returned. The divine union has already been initiated and completed. It's done. It is done. I picked up on this, I think like maybe last year. I got this very big message that the divine masculine has returned. It takes a while for stuff to catch up, and also takes no time for things to align. I don't know. I feel like there's still like this last step, and what I keep seeing is like the divine feminine like waiting in a garden. Where was that? Waiting in a garden. Like waiting for like Romeo to show up. And he doesn't. And so it's like she puts the heart in her chest. Like the heart that she had for him, she puts it in her chest. And like when she does that, I'm having a ringing in my ear. The divine masculine like rises up from the soil. I had this image in my head like last month or a couple of weeks ago. Like I'm seeing like this person rising from like the soil, like covered in dirt, and they get up and like they're like, that's the divine masculine, like reborn. Like it's like, I don't know, it's like an Ouroboros kind of thing. It's like the divine masculine like was gone because the divine feminine was distorted. I don't know. And like because the divine feminine decided to come back and restore herself through that same process, the divine masculine is rebirthed. But it's like I'm referring to energies, not gender, he comes after the divine feminine. Like she births him. Which is interesting because that's something Ramona always says, but like, I don't know. When people say stuff, I just listen. I don't, agree with it automatically until I personally get the message. And now I'm getting it. Now I'm personally getting the message. Like, yeah, the divine masculine, they come after the divine feminine. Because she births, or they birth them. Okay? So, this is why I feel like the rest and rejuvenation card is very important. Because then we have the sun card. It's hot. Okay, I'm about to share like a personal story. So, it's gonna be super personal, but basically, my divine masculine and we went to a place and there was this painting. And I remember, I don't know what it looked like. I don't remember what it looked like. But I remember it was like something interesting. I don't know. I remember it was like a play on words. And I was like, I got it before he did. And I was like, that's why it's called the sun. That's why it's called the S-U-N, because in the painting, the picture, it was like a sun, a S-O-N. But I was like, the picture was of a sun, S-O-N, if I'm not mistaken, but it was called like the sun, like the title of it was the S-U-N. It was like both. It was like this play on words of between the two words, sun. And so that's why it's very important. Divine feminine, everybody, we all have divine feminine within to rest, especially when you're called to rest, because you're literally rebirthing the sun, which is also you, which is also the divine masculine, which is also divine feminine, which is also the child of the two. You feel me? But I remember that specifically. It came to me the other day. I remember that painting. I don't remember how it looked, but I remember I was like, aha. Like I had an aha moment. And like I've been talking about like the divine feminine getting it before the divine masculine. So here we have the man holding the heart card. I think I'll get one card to like clarify. I'm getting this one off the top. I'm tired. Yeah, 8 of Swords in reverse. 3 of Cups in reverse. And the Moon card. So these are all clarifying this card, right? It's not good. By the way, if you're watching this still, give the video thumbs up, and I would strongly consider supporting me by leaving a comment if you resonate. To be clear, I shouldn't have to say this, but don't leave 5,000 words. somebody said I didn't, like I don't say that not to do that. Don't do that. Comment a normal sized comment if you would like. Preferably only comment if you resonate with what I'm saying. And if you would like a personal reading, there's information in the description. And you can email me or DM me and just say, hey, I'm interested in a personal reading. You don't need to tell me your life story, none of that. Or if you would like to simply donate as a sign of support, I would really appreciate that, because as you can see, this is very intense for me. This is labor intensive and very time consuming, especially when it's like this strong. But okay, oh, I almost cried. Yeah, the divine, and then under that is like the moon again. So I've talked about the moon before. I don't know, I don't really be messing with the moon like that, but you know, in tarot, and even I feel like in this deck, even though it's the goddess of the moon, I feel like it just still represents like this distorted feminine energy, but also like, I don't know, just anxiety. I feel like all these things are like anxiousness. And even though the Eight of Swords, which usually represents like being trapped or being stuck somewhere, even though it's in reverse, it still feels like unmoving. I don't know, it feels like somebody who finally got untied, right? You kidnapped somebody and you tied them up, but like now they got untied and they found a way to escape, but they're in the middle of nowhere. They don't know how to navigate after the fact, because it's like they're still like their navigation system isn't up. Like there's no cell phone or cell phone tower. It's actually reminded me of that movie Split. Wow, ringing in my ear. The movie Split, spoilers, the girl, she gets out at the end, like, but then she still like doesn't know where she is. She's still trapped even though she's free. That's what I'm getting at. I feel like that's where some or all divine masculines are. I don't know, whoever this reading is for, it's like they're still like they got out of something, but they don't know how to navigate now. And this could be in terms of like returning to their divine feminine or reaching out or some shit like that. You know, I don't like talking about that because it's always the same shit. I'm like, I'll do a read on that when I see something new. But anyways, it's like, I don't know, let's just say, for example, like they finally realized, like, because a lot of them are like oblivious, because like I said, it's like their false ego is like made to be like the center of attention. So like they're oblivious to like, I don't know, the fact that they've like done something egregious. You know what I mean? I say they, I'm a me, but okay. It's like, you know, you realize what you did on my stomach. And it's like, okay, now, but like, how do I fix it? Or like, how do I move now from here now that I realized what I've done? Oh my God, my ear. I don't know. I'm picking up Noah from The Notebook, which is interesting because in that movie about divine counterparts, it's like Allie is the one that ran. But I don't know. I feel like what I'm picking up on is like Noah, like he built that house, right? But he was sleeping with this other woman, you know, during that time. Even though he was still in love with Allie, he was with this other woman, and he built that house to attract Allie. But I feel like it hit him when he was on that boat, you know, before it started raining. I feel like it hit him then, like, that he really wanted what he wanted. You know what I mean? Like, he knew he did these things with intention. But I feel like it hit him when he was on the boat, when she laughed, like, no, like, this is really what I want, you know? And like, and I'm talking about the movie, not the book, because the book, it was slightly different. And then obviously the book is written from Noah's perspective, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, it's like, he realized it, but it's like, now how do I navigate it? And eventually we know in the movie he navigated it by just blurting it out to her and being very straightforward about it. Okay, I hope this has been beneficial. I'm not done, so don't leave yet, but as I'm sure you can probably see by the timestamp, I'm about to crack open the old book there. Just moving some things around as I try not to pass out. Lord, give me strength. I've been snorting a lot. I snorted so much today. Like, I'm like, I haven't snorted in years. I used to snort all the time, like, when I used to laugh. It's cause, I don't know. I wasn't afraid to be embarrassing. So inside this book, I placed these Harry Potter cards that I was gonna do a reading on. So we're gonna get one of those, the one that just fills the floor. Let's see what it says. Sirius Black, of course. Sirius Black is my favorite character, mostly because I think he's extremely attractive, the man who plays him in the movies. So it says Padfoot, Snuffles, are his nicknames. Animagus he's a shapeshifter, godfather to Harry. He was imprisoned in Azkaban, 8 of Swords. His family were purebloods and anti-Muggle, Gryffindor, despite family history. So he was Gryffindor despite his family history. I think they were like Slytherin, something. He was blasted off the family tree. So it's literally the black sheep, even though it's the black dog. A large black dog to keep Lapin company during their 5th year. Okay, and then the card looks like this. So I feel like it's been a long road for the divine masculine. I feel like Sirius Black is like, the whole description is very like divine masculine-y, like all the shit that they've been through, you know, but like within all of us, like you were a Gryffindor, they were a Gryffindor. Just change it to whoever could relate to both people. You were a Gryffindor, but you came from a family of Slytherin. Your family is like pure blood, and they don't like Muggles. So it's like, it could be like I said earlier, these differences, like their family is like racist, or they don't. They're like what's it called? What are those people who are like afraid of immigrants? Someone ring in my ear. But you know, those people who are afraid of immigrants, bigots, like people like that, like they don't like others. And they come from like pure bloods, whatever the hell that means. Imprisoned in Azkaban. It might literally be some issue with like physical distance from divine counterparts. Like they have to be and live in a certain area. And a godfather to Harry. So this person or you or both might have like something like you love children or something like that, or you volunteer for this cause, or you know, you're really big on like food donation. So it's opened on this page. I think I'll just read from this one. So it says here, Moore gave no indication that she noticed and curved her fingers toward me. Come sit with me while they drink. I'd had enough dignity remaining not to look to rise for confirmation it was safe, so I obeyed, falling into step beside her as the 2 Illyrians drifted back to walk a few steps with their high lord. Unless you'd rather drink, Moore offered as we entered the warmth and red stone of the dining room. But I want you to myself before Amryn hogs you. The interior dining room doors opened on a whispering wind, revealing the shadowed crimson halls of the mountain beyond. And maybe part of me remained mortal, because even though the short, delicate woman looked like High Fae, as Rise had warned me, every instinct was warring to run, to hide. She was several inches shorter than me. Her chin-length black hair, glossy and straight, her skin tan and smooth, and her face pretty, bordering on plain, was bored, if not mildly irritated. But Amren's eyes, her silver eyes, were unlike anything I'd ever seen. A glimpse into the creature that I knew in my bones wasn't high fae, or hadn't been born that way. The silver in Amren's eyes seemed to swirl like smoke under glass. She wore pants and a top like those I'd worn at the other mountain palace, both in shades of pewter and storm cloud, and pearls, white and gray and black, adorned her ears, fingers, and wrists. Even the High Lord at my left side felt like a wisp of shadow compared to the power thrumming from her. Moore groaned, slumping into a chair near the end of the table, and poured herself a glass of wine. This is page 161. So, with Sirius Black being like, I feel like the description of the divine masculine, I feel like this is the description of like how the divine masculine sees the divine feminine. It's like this jolt of like shit. And it's like, I feel like it's two ways that you react to seeing this kind of person that I just described. It's like you villainize them, you know, because they're so alluring. You see them as a threat, but you also know that you can't defeat them because they're so powerful. And so you gaslight, manipulate, or you run and you hide, right? Or you see them as alluring, you know. It's two ways you can, I guess you can react to that pull or that, like that jolt, that zing, right? You could let it draw you closer. And like I said before, it's like with their families, it's been all this interference and manipulation. And it teaches Sirius Black that people that jolt you or that kind of energy is bad, and that you are powerless to it, and they'll use it to break you. But that's not the truth. The truth is actually the reason that you're aware and drawn to this person of this magnitude is because you're equal to it. You know what I mean? Like a magnet, it's drawn by equal force. Not lesser or greater, but equal force. If you're drawn to that magnet, you're the same as that. But it's all these distortions of like you're not. And I feel like that's also why this page number is 161. 6 is the lover's card. And in my opinion, is the number of love. And on the opposite sides of that is ones, these mirrors. So 161, I feel like it's very important. I'm gonna read one more of these cards. It says things to remember. Hermione Granger. So I think her one is Vinewood Wand with a dragon heart string core. I could go on and on. Like I said, I'm dizzy. I'm about to pass out. So leave a comment if this resonated. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that when I view this, I won't be too self-conscious. But if I am, I'll just take it down. Bye.